Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm feeling much better lately, so I just wanted to take the time to share some things that have been coming through, not just recently, but overall in my spiritual journey that may be of assistance to you. Over the years, I have faced many challenges and not known why. Things that may have been easier for most people, and yet for me, it's always been kind of an obstacle here or there, trying to fit in, trying to be like everyone else, trying to fit into this world, trying to find the right place. And I found that the less I tried to fit in, the more things fell in line for me. Over the years, it became apparent that I was an Rh-negative starseed. Rh-negative or rhesus negative means that there are beings on this planet, such as myself, who are descended from the Anunnaki, and their bloodline, Rh-negative, can be traced to the royal families across Europe, and especially amongst the Basque region of northern Spain and southern France. This can also be traced back to the Cro-Magnon. This DNA has been spread throughout Celtic Britain, so there is the Rh-negative Celtic Basque connection. And during the British colonies, a lot of these blood types intermingled with their slaves. I say that loosely because I know there was a lot of rape and abuse that went on during the African-American slave or diaspora in the British Isles or British colonies that spread throughout North America, okay? And as a result of that, that was, basically, passed down to myself, okay? On the British branch of my family tree, which is predominantly African-American, okay? But also British, Swedish, the British colonized and the Swedish made the chains, okay? If you want a quick history lesson there. And then we have the, gifts and curses, in my opinion, that come along with being of Rh-negative descent. You may find it harder to reproduce if you are Rh-negative and your partner is Rh-positive, okay? Most people are Rh-positive, okay? Or O-positive, okay? And so we, over the years, I think, have found ways to develop ROGAM and other methods of making sure that the baby comes out healthy without the mother's blood type attacking the baby's fetus, okay? Because if the mother is Rh-negative and the father's Rh-positive, then the baby is Rh-positive, then the mother who's Rh-negative, will have an allergic reaction. And this could cause a miscarriage, okay? And so having resulted in that in my lifetime twice, I hope this is helpful information for anyone who is having issues with that. That said, there's a lot of wonderful gifts that come with being Rh-negative. We tend to be more psychic, more intuitive, more empathic. We tend to know things before most people. We tend to pick up on auras and energy fields and find ways to conclusions that take the average person a bit longer to arrive to. Now, this is something where everyone arrives to this conclusion differently based on what their experiences are. And without going too much into my personal experiences, I do want this to be out there for those who may be experiencing something and not know why. One hint that came along was when I was a child, we noticed there was like a lump in my neck and we didn't know why. So we went and got it checked out. And the doctor said, oh, you may have this, you may have that. And my mother made sure we got a second opinion from a surgeon. And he said, oh, you just have an extra rib or an extra vertebra. And it's perfectly fine. Only 2% of the world population get this. And unless it's causing you any pain, there's no need to remove it. There's no need to have surgery or anything. Just, it's there for a reason. And that just sounded so outlandish, so alien to us, because we're like thinking, well, Why am I not like everyone else? No one else has this. People, you know, they don't have that extra rib, you know. And over time we found out, yeah, there are quite a few people out there who do have that extra rib. They may not even be aware of it. It's somewhere in their body. And this is another trait of being Rh negative. And so that said, well, where does this come from? Well, it's definitely alien DNA there. That bloodline is quite ancient. It goes back to the Anunnaki. It was passed down through the royal families, and it was passed down through the Basque, who became conquistadors, and it just spread around the world. But the highest region of it is in the Basque region, okay? And so ultimately, I think as I learned more and more about this bloodline, or this type of interesting span of DNA, it just became more real to me, and in the notion that we're all just experiments, you know, because this actually goes back to the Cro-Magnon. There was a time you had the Cro-Magnon, the Neanderthals, the Australopithecus afarensis, or Australopithecus boise, Australopithecus africanus, okay? You had a lot of beings, Denisovians, I believe, you know, that were basically experiments, you know, where different alien groups were, you know, doing genetic experiments to see survival of the, you know, of the fittest, in a way, you know. And so there is strength in diversity, and this is why it's so important to be open to the creation story, okay? Because it wasn't just one story. There were multiple Gardens of Edens around the planet. There were multiple Adams and Eves and first branches throughout the planet. And so different timelines, different dimensions, and of course in the third dimension especially, there was a lot of this going on. And I think there were initially 22 ET groups that were experimenting with life on Earth, and a lot of us carry their DNA and our junk DNA. I do want to say, if you hear any animals in the background, that's my cats, or you might hear crows or seagulls or wildlife, because I've lived on the California coast for quite some time, so you may hear things. I just allow those animal noises in because a lot of times it's like affirmation from the spirit world that yes, we're on the right track, or you know, or anyway, I just allow that. So getting back to this, I have so many stories about how to awaken to the spirit world, whether you're Rh negative or not. It certainly helps, but I feel like for those who are Rh negative, this may help you, you know, maybe hone in on those psychic abilities. One of the best books I read as a young, I'd say high school, was Shamanism for Everyone by Jeannie Scott Graham. This may or may not be in publication. It's definitely, I think, available on Amazon. I'm not sure if it's still in print, but it was. Anyway, but Jeannie Scott Graham had a list of exercises that you could practice, you know, and these were no more than 5-minute exercises where you could take an object and place it at the center of the table or your bed or wherever you're doing this. Dim the lights a bit and just focus your energy on that object for 5 minutes. No more, no less, just observing it, focusing and concentrating on that object, and write down what you saw, you know, when it's all done. When I did this the first few times, I began to see the object appear to move in space. Like it was there, but everything beneath and around it was just moving, like it was just vibrating in space, okay? Another time, I saw it appear to turn and look at me, like it was a conscious being, okay? And it just turned and looked at me. Another time, I could see right through it. It's like it wasn't even there. Other times it was just, I could just see waves of energy, like it was just energy, okay? Sometimes I could feel it pulsating. I could feel the rhythm of it, okay? Sometimes I could, you know, hear like it sounded like machinery. Like I could hear the factory it came from, where there were, you know, things sculpting it into shape. Like I could hear the history of this. This most likely is better practiced on crystals or, you know, something living like a flower or whatever. But for me, having this animate object, it was just like a little knick-knack or something I was focusing on. I think it was a picture of a bunny or something, like a little ceramic bunny, and it just appeared to take on a life of its own, you know. And it was, you know, something where I was able to journal it, and before I knew it, I was able to do this on myself, where I went into in front of the mirror, dimmed the lights, and allowed my vision to go in and out of focus. And in 5 minutes or less, I saw my face take on different shapes and frequencies. I shifted to a lion, looking like a mountain lion or lioness or a puma, or a cougar, you know. And I saw myself shapeshift into 2 elderly, sad-looking black slave women, one white man, blonde-haired, blue-eyed white man, a black man with, you know, peppery, salt and pepper hair and a beard, and just like cloaked in like a mask, like a practical joker, you know. I would just pick up on these things and write them down. And the next thing I knew, over time, it re-engaged me into this ability where I was picking up on animal frequencies, auras, energy fields around the trees. Okay, everything just seemed to be more vibrant. Okay, so that told me I was definitely opening up a part of my brain that was just kind of, you know, lying dormant. And now everything just seemed more electrifying as I was doing these visualizations, meditations, and just opening my mind. The more I did this, the more I felt comfortable enough to just be around people, and I would pick up on things that I didn't expect to pick up on. You know, my boyfriend at the time, I would hear him saying, Amanda, 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 and I never asked who's Amanda, but I wish I had, because it would have scared him. But if I turned out, like a few weeks later, I found out he was cheating on me with a girl named Amanda. Okay, so you will just pick up on things. Your clairs will become more, you know, they're just more there. You just feel things more. You see things more. You pick up on smells. You pick up on like my grandmother passed away, and then one morning I woke up and I could smell her banana pudding, like she was in my home. And it's just like I knew my grandmother's spirit was with me in that moment. So it's just things like that. There was another person I had, another bad date, where I could see his aura come up out of his body and dive into the table, you know, like he was snorting cocaine. Okay, and I just straight up asked him, have you ever done drugs? And he was hesitant, but I could tell he was about to lie. But then he said, well, yeah, I've used. And he would say, oh, I did a little this or that. And I said, but have you ever done cocaine? And he's like, and he just looked spooked. And I just said what I saw, like, and I think that was the end of that conversation, because you will just know things. You will know things, you know, because your mind is open. You're not shut off. And you're not in how do you say, you become kind of an antenna. You just pick things up. You know, the more you tap into this energy, the more it expands for you. And you will expand, because the universe is expanding. So we have to expand with it ultimately. We're going to, you know, whether you feel like it's in this moment or a few years from now, you're going to be ready. That's why you're here. At this point in time, is to figure out how to expand human consciousness, because everyone can do this, you know. And I think maybe the Rh negative blood types are here as hybrids, or maybe, you know, we have one leg in the human and one leg in this. I mean, I just feel like anybody who has an anomaly or feels like they're a hybrid, we're here to kind of help with that next genetic shift, okay, forward. You know, where we're going from Homo sapiens sapien to Homo sapiens sapiens sapiens. You know, we're just, you know, we're constantly expanding. You can see it in kids today. They're getting much faster, they're sharper. They don't need all of the incremental things that we've needed to get us to where we are. Like, they're just gonna, you know, pick things up a lot more quickly. So yeah, and this is something that is, again, it's going to be different for everyone. If it resonates with you, great. If not, let it go or pass it on to someone you think may be struggling with this. But I think there's a reason you're watching this and getting this message. And, you know, I hope that ultimately we can really learn more about why we're here. I definitely feel like there were 22 ET groups that had a direct hand in building our current civilization on Earth. They've been watching us for thousands and thousands of years. Okay, they've been watching us cycle after cycle as the world has gone through its cataclysms. Okay, I think we're in the 4th or 5th world. Okay, and they've been there watching us every time, you know, we do the restart or the reset. And I'm hoping we can get to a point now where we don't have to keep starting over. I'm hoping we can graduate. Okay, I'm hoping we don't have to keep repeating the lessons of Atlantis and other, you know, civilizations that have preceded us, where we were so close and then there was a war or something devastating happened, you know, with Mohenjo-Daro or Sodom and Gomorrah. All these myths, legends, and historical tales about cataclysms on Earth and how all this wisdom kept getting wiped out and we've had to start over. I'm hoping that we can tap more in because the answers are there, and we can trust ourselves more, and just go forward into the future, you know, and be fearless about it. You know, this is really our time, and we are co-creators with the universe. So that's the other thing. If you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling trapped all the time, or if you're feeling like you're imprisoned and you want to escape this 3D reality or whatever you're doing on a day-to-day basis, I'm here to remind you, just get up and go. Just do it. Don't ask for permission. Don't second guess it. Don't hesitate. Write down what you want to do, and or just announce to yourself like what your intention is and do it. There's nothing holding you back. You may think there is. You may think, oh, well, I have all these other obligations. No, let it go. Just let it go and step into your new life today. If you can do that for yourself, do it. This is the most important thing you're ever going to do in your entire life. Do not let anything hold you back, okay, from your truth. Take that trip you've been wanting to take. Start planning it, okay? Start that new business or ask for help on starting a new business. If you want to work from home and do all these other wonderful things from home, don't worry about the money. Just start today, okay? And you will find that the more steps you take, and they can be baby steps, but the more steps you take, the more you're bringing this new reality to you. And it's something you were meant to do. It was absolutely something you were meant to do. And it's no accident that I'm here telling you this today, okay? So that said, that's all for now. Thank you for joining me. Please like and subscribe, and I will have more for you soon. Thank you.